What is up, guys? It's your boy CrazyMaze98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the EHG community, and welcome to another episode of the EHG podcast. I'm here with my boy HellBoy, and you guys gotta make sure to follow him on Omelet Gaming. Make sure to follow HellBoiGamez. I'm gonna put the link in the description. And make sure to go ahead and leave him with a couple of likes. Make sure to follow him, if you want to take a look at some top-notch, PUBG or even possibly Call of Duty mobile kills and everything and wins, go ahead and make sure to follow him. Also, make sure to follow Rando20XX on his Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook. And make sure to, if you are looking for any type of commission work based off of gaming, comics, or etc., then make sure to contact him, and he'll help you with a good price. Also, make sure to follow Travis Brown on Instagram and on Twitter. And also, make sure to follow him on his SoundCloud and Spotify, which are in those profiles if you are a big fan of EDM music. And make sure to go to teespring.com/CycleWorld and take a look at the t-shirts that are listed up here from CycleWorld Gaming and from CycleWorld Art. Make sure to follow him on Twitch and, Instagram. And make sure to follow Rose at Instagram and also on YouTube. Make sure to take a look at his brand new single, which is called Forbidden Love, and make sure to also take a listen to a really good song, one of my favorite songs named Aura. Make sure to leave him with that like and everything. All right, so the topic today: SNES versus Sega Genesis.
Oh yeah.
You remember that beef not that corporate beef that Sega and Sony had, not Sega and Nintendo had?
It wasn't.
I mean,
I don't think it was beef. I think it was like a full-on 12-ounce fillets.
Oh, pretty much. It's like massive competition, and it was between the Super Nintendo and also the Sega Genesis, because they had like a major selection of games on there. And with that, I played things of both because I had both of them. And with that, I still remember playing more of SNES because of some of the titles that were popping up on there. But what do you think? What's your opinion on this?
I mean, as much as I do like because to me, the SNES was more family geared in my eyes. Genesis to me was more like die-hard gamer, like not really too family oriented. But I will say, I still remember playing Final Fantasy on SNES, and it was amazeballs.
Wait, was it Final Fantasy or Phantasy Star?
It was Final Fantasy. There was Genesis had Fantasy. SNES had Final Fantasy. Genesis had Fantasy. SNES had Chrono Trigger. Genesis had Shining
Force.
Just like SNES had Mario and Donkey Kong Country, Genesis had Sonic and Victor.
That is true. And I think it was Earthworm Jim was also Sega during the time, was it?
What was it?
Earthworm Jim?
Played that.
You've never played Earthworm Jim?
I don't think so.
Oh man, you gotta take a look at that. Everybody's been asking for that game. I think it was a Sega game. There was but I barely played it. I was mostly into things like Streets of Rage for the Genesis. Like I was more into doing Streets of Rage with the Genesis. I was doing freaking some other I would say some other games in regards to like sometimes even the Disney themed ones. Like I played Aladdin on Sega.
Oh yeah.
But I would say a lot more of the top-notch games came from NES, the SNES.
Well, I
Um,
mean, yeah.
yeah, I would say Sega had amazing games. Like there was
Freaking Golden Axe, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Altered Beast, Gunstar Heroes, Strider, Columns, Echo the Dolphin, Toe Jam and Earl, which, bruh, still loved it.
they also had they had Shinobi.
Yeah, Shinobi, Rocket Knight Adventures.
That is true.
But if we're gonna talk about I know this is a little off because we're talking about SNES and Genesis. But dude, I was like 18, 19, and I had a little bit of money. And I was like, man, you know what'd be so cool? I want to get a fucking Atari 2600 just for Space Invader. That's it. And I owned it. And I felt so accomplished. And
yeah, I would get myself like something old school like that at one point.
it was badass.
Yeah, unless you try to get Atari 2600 with a fucking copy of ET, you that'd be the worst thing ever. The worst ever type of deal that some store can make you. Hey, we got this Atari 2600 probably for $100. You know, all right, no problem. Does it come with a game? Yeah, it comes with ET. Nope. Nope. No, but
Well, I'm going back to Genesis with MK 1, 2, and 3.
yeah, exactly. But I do like those titles. I really do like the titles with the Sega Genesis, but I have to say that the titles on Super Nintendo were probably a lot more better based on what the characters were. Like, I think there are more characters on the SNES that are more legendary than some of the Sega characters. Like for instance, like of course we have Donkey Kong. We had Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. You know, and then we had the Super Mario World, which was a big thing. We had the Super Mario Lost Worlds, which was 1, 2, and 3, and then the Lost episodes. We had Star Fox, which Star Fox 2 actually came out with an English edition. English edition. English edition. Wow. There was also there was Pac-Man World 2.
Splatterhouse series.
The Splatterhouse series was actually I thought that was Neo Geo. I thought that was Neo Geo or TurboGrafx.
Splatterhouse was from and made by Namco.
Yes.
Well, wait. Yeah, Namco made it, but
yes, it was actually the
yeah, it was on Genesis. Okay.
yeah, it was on let me see all platforms. It was on because they have it for arcade platforms. They had it for BlackBerry. They had it for BlackBerry.
What?
What? Okay, all right, that's fine. They had it for a BlackBerry. They had it for a handheld. Yeah, it was the TurboGrafx. TurboGrafx 16. That was where it started off. Then there were probably other copies that were taken off then. Like I remember there was an actual copy of Mega Man X3 for the Sega Genesis. And surprisingly that's really rare to find. There was that and Michael Jackson's Moonwalker was actually on SNES as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, but the ones on the consoles were not as good as the one in the arcade. There was Castlevania, Rondo of Blood, and there was
Can I give one amazing reason why I think Genesis is just superior?
Go ahead.
Because when and this dates back to me just being a fucking full-on nerd. I love Transformers. Now, in the all-time, you've seen like Pepsi Prime. You've seen a Hello Kitty that turns into a semi truck. But have you ever seen a SNES Transformer? No, because there was never such a thing.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there was a rare Sega Genesis that transforms into, excuse me, Megatron. Um, yeah, I thought that was freaking awesome, man.
I gotta see this. This
Yeah,
is
look it up. It's who I'm trying not to burp again. Megatron Genesis. It literally like unfolds and everything.
No, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
I know I'm right.
Yeah,
I'm always right.
they actually have it where, it's only $134.
Yeah, it's rare.
It is rare. They have that, and they had apparently they had an Optimus Prime that turned into a PlayStation.
What?
They had an Optimus Prime turn into a PlayStation.
Oh,
That's interesting.
Megatron.
That's true. That is definitely. I would prefer Megatron over that, honestly. But what else was a dope thing? Oh yeah. Okay. So a lot of people, a lot of games could not have beaten Contra 3. Contra 3 was like the most difficult game out there in the Contra series at the moment. And with that, that was a major sale on the SNES. Super Castlevania 4 was a major thing, but both systems also had terrible games. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say though.
Alright.
All right. So I know you're eating ramen, so hold on to your chair right now. I hate Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah, Tommy. It's okay. I hate Mortal Kombat more than I hate, America. I mean, that's a lot. So just take that.
America, get over here. No, I just didn't see the reason for that game. I thought that game was just lame. I got so bored of it. Like it's like I was okay with everything else. Like there was this fighting game on the Sega Genesis. I think you might know what it is. It's called Eternal Champions.
Yeah.
That was a game that was probably that was taken off because it was very, very bloody and very, very gory. And the thing is,
I mean, but
you go ahead.
when you look at how the public relations was set for SNES, and it goes back to what I said earlier, it's very family friendly. They were okay. If you can relate the SNES to like a high school group, it would be like the cheerleaders, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's okay." And then the Genesis was like the punk rock kids that left lunch and were smoking weed out front on the car, not giving. Dude, like when I mean like they had a better marketing because they could go out and put out these advertisements that were for preteens and teenagers. Like, because whatever your parents say not to do, generally you're just gonna do. Like, hey, don't get your lip pierced. Come back home, hey, I got my lip pierced. Like,
Yeah, and then you get the chancleta to the ass.
I don't know what that means.
The chancleta is like the flip flop or the sandal.
Oh no. Oh. But like, it means like when your parents said no Mortal Kombat, you'd go over to your friend's house and you
Play Mortal Kombat.
Your friend did, huh?
And you'd go over to play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. No Beavis and Butthead. There was Beavis and Butthead. Like the Genesis was like a forbidden.
Yeah, it was. One thing that about the Genesis. Like, it was more like accepting for certain titles. Like a bunch of them like that was massively gory was like things like Eternal Champions, Primal Rage. Um,
Yeah.
I think you guys had Killer Instinct too. I'm not 100% sure. Because the thing is, when Killer Instinct, it was mostly on no, it was just mostly Super Nintendo. And wow, so you guys missed out. That was where one of the top notch fighting games until like since then. But now it's like, what the hell is the point of it? Um, when it came to a lot of games that came out with the Sega Genesis, that it was more on the side of like, of, as I said, it was like more on the side of like adultish, teenish. You're right. It was like more family oriented in the SNES side until like, like they did things with like against like Mortal Kombat. Like they had Mortal Kombat set up. They did have
Genesis also had RoboCop versus Terminator,
yeah, I had that for SNES.
but it was just better.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought RoboCop versus Terminator was pretty dope. I think that would be a dope movie. I think that would be one hell of a dope movie if they did that. Um, one other thing that I think SNES had was, which was pretty cool. It had better, equipment to it. Like,
Yeah.
I would say like, remember Mario Paint?
Hmm.
Yeah, that was dope. That was pretty dope. But you could use a mouse with it.
Yeah.
It was dope with that. It had a Super Scope, which Sega had at one point, but it was for the Master System. But it wasn't as good as the light gun for the NES. There was that.
But the NES, like, my only problem with it, man, Nintendo's been censoring shit since, before God said let there be light. Like, back, I can remember in the SNES versions of Street Fighter 2, RoboCop Terminator, Zombie Ate My Neighbors, dude, on the Genesis, it was bloody, gory, violent, freaking, guts getting ripped out. Nintendo's over here just like, nope, it's gonna be sweat. There's no blood. It's all sweat. They're not dying, kids. It's sweat. Like, dude, are you fucking kidding? Like, God, what? Nintendo, you fuck off.
Yeah. I understand that. It's it's that, I guess it was because during that time, especially for titles like that, they ended up getting a major like shaft, because even outside of SNES and outside of Sega Genesis, like things like Mortal Kombat were getting majorly shafted because of the fatalities and the blood and gore and stuff like that. So that's a major thing. But so I guess that's why they added that to the system, to be able to still sell it, and NetherRealm Games still sold it. But as I said, it's just based on what happened during the time, especially with certain games were taken off the market because of stuff like that. Um, because this was during the time where it was coming to an end, and there was like a major change, because it was gonna be the Nintendo 64, then it was gonna be the PlayStation, and then with that, like, in order to sell like the games like Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, they had to take off a couple of things for it. But so I kind of see, and I kind of understand why it was censored a little bit more on Nintendo. Um, I do agree that on the Genesis that it showed a lot more, and it gave a lot more to it when it comes to visuals. But I can see the reasoning for Nintendo on that one. All I know is that that Sega made a dumbass move with the Genesis afterwards. Um, remember the Sega CD?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had a Sega CD, which by itself took a power plug of its own, and then it connected to the Sega Genesis, and it was like the most annoying thing ever. But there were two games that I liked from there. It was Knuckles Chaotix. Remember that game?
Yeah.
And there was one that is very, very rare and very, very good. It's called Snatcher.
Never.
Oh my goodness, that is probably
Dude, I
one
mean,
of
you
the.
got to think. I was more into like the Street Fighter 2, and that's why I kind of fell for because the LR on the Sega Genesis controller is a lot smoother.
It is. It is.
Yes.
I would say if you get a chance, take a look at Snatcher, because Snatcher is a point and click game, but it was made in the future, and it was made by Hideo Kojima, the guys who made it's like similar to Police Knots. Have you ever heard of Police Knots? Hello?
I'm not sure. It sounds.
It sounds familiar, right? Yeah, because like the thing is, Snatcher is a very rare game. It's like if you actually try to get the game, it's like probably like $100-$200. If it's in good condition, then it's probably more than 400. Because I went to go see, because there's like this mom and dad store that I go to, and they sell like a bunch of games. They repair like old classic games, and with that they had the whole Mega Man X3, perfect box, plastic, clean everything. Box was in perfect condition. The cartridge was absolutely clean. The stickers were the sticker like for the game was absolutely clean. Everything, the motherboard was clean. Almost $400. That's how it was. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening. I'm also looking up Snatcher.
Yeah, it's they have a whole walkthrough on YouTube, and it's actually pretty damn good. It's interesting. It should be like a movie.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah, and have you realized it's Hideo Kojima because one of the characters' name is Metal Gear. So
Yeah, I'm reading into that right now.
yeah, there was that, and there was that 32X for the Sega Genesis,
Yeah.
which was $150, where it was just like a little like a mushroom that you put on top of the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fucking horrendous, dude. It was disgusting. It was like you had regular Genesis games, you had 32X Genesis games, you have Sega CD games, you have Sega CD 32X Genesis games, which required you to have both, and that freaking thing on the top had its own power source. So that's like 3 plugs you have to attach into your power strip for that whole thing
And
to
that's
work.
why the parents, didn't really like it.
Yeah, especially where it has that big ass box at the end. You're like how the plugs are just like a big ass box. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. There's
Dude, no. I don't want to think about all those. Like, I'm so glad, like, we were born in the later middle. Well, not like 90s.
yeah. Be
Like,
careful, you're getting cut off a little bit more.
Alright, are we good?
Yeah.
Are we alright?
Yeah.
It's probably a plane flying over. I live by the air.
Oh yeah, you do live by the airport.
Yeah. But I'm kind of glad we don't have giant freaking plugs anymore, dude. Like, the AC adapter plugs, like, bro, they looked like a freaking laptop battery.
Mhm.
and they always overheated.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be smelling something funny from the wall.
Mm-hmm. That was a major thing.
Plug.
Dude, like, did you know that there was Atari tried to get in between this fight, this competitiveness.
What, with the 2600?
No, not with the 2600. It was the Atari Jaguar.
Atari.
Yeah, there's an Atari Jaguar. That was the CD base of it. That was one that was 64-bit. And yeah, and it wasn't bad because those look like amazing games.
Yeah.
The problem is just that nobody owned the damn thing. Nobody owned it, and there was another extension that made it look like a toilet. It was like an actual toilet, and it's like, I'm not even joking, dude. It's literally if you take a look at the Angry Video Game Nerd, you know who that is?
No, I only watch a couple.
Yeah, like I'm gonna send the link to you.
One being EHG, but you know.
Yeah, of course. It's just like, thank you, I appreciate that. But I'm gonna send you the link, and the games look amazing, but it literally looks like a terrible system, which the systems were so bad to that point. And this was during the beginning where SNES was trying to work with Sony and work with Philips to make a like a CD based console after the SNES.
Yeah.
And it led to the most terrible things of all time.
Abomination.
Yeah, the worst 3 Zelda games. Faces of Evil, Wand of Gamelon, and Zelda's Adventures.
Yeah.
Worst.
I've literally knocked someone unconscious just because they said Majora's Mask was the worst Zelda game in all. I knocked the fuck out of them. Literally unconscious.
I would not say that it's bad. I'd say it's a really good game. I'd say I'd prefer Ocarina over it, honestly.
I mean, yeah, but you still just can't throw that out there. That's
no, there's worse Zelda games than all of them, but
dude, Breath of the Wild. Can we take a second and
what? It's
at least I thought it was gorgeous.
Breath of the Wild was great. I can't wait for the sequel because they're actually coming with a sequel.
Ooh.
Mhm.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, there's that. And they had the brand new one, which is Link's Awakening. I got that today.
Oh.
Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It looks amazing. I think honestly, it's one of the games that we would get, that somebody would get.
Yeah.
And it's like really worth all that money, in true honesty. But there's a lot of Mario references in the damn game. Like there's a chain chomp, there's Goombas, Shy Guys, fucking Pokies, Piranha Plants. I'm like, what what are we doing here? Like did we just like throw away the selection of characters we have? And then there's like the cool animation with the 3D, and it looks great.
Yeah.
But
like I'm honestly stuck on Call of Duty. Like I literally can't stop playing.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be my new crack.
Yeah, because you just already got a first place win on it.
Dude, I have, out of 7 games I've played on Battle Royale, I have 5 victories. And even the ones that I lost, I still had fucking...
I tried the new Apex, and the Apex map and stuff like that.
How is it?
It's actually pretty cool. I actually think it's really good. I actually never played it. I barely play Battle Royales, you know that, but I think it's worth it. I think it's pretty cool. But here is one thing that a lot of people are gonna hate that I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I have different opinions on certain things. Like, a lot of people say A Link to the Past is the best Zelda game out there.
What?
People say that A Link to the Past, the one for the SNES, is the best Zelda game out there.
Say.
I do not agree with that. I think it's probably one of the most overrated Zelda games of all time. I have a major issue with some of the things in here, especially because I'm doing a walkthrough on it right now, and I freaking hate the fact that like it's so annoyingly like created. Like there's like an animation like for my new walkthrough. I'm facing a boss that's a worm, and it's coming out of the ground and like tossing in the air, doing like an arc in the air. And with that, I'm trying to walk under it. And with that animation, you can't even walk under the damn thing. Like, that sucks. Like, that sucks. That's a shitty animation. Like, it's like, we could make a first and second floor in this one room, which you can't even go onto the second floor, which is the bottom floor. And, like...
I mean, you gotta think, though, that was a whole other time. That was before we... Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's allowed to be bullshit, but dude, let's face it, like we started out with Pong, basically.
Yeah, but in fairness, it was good during the time.
Oh yeah,
but that's a game
for nowadays standards, not at all.
That's a game that didn't age well, honestly. That game that game did not age well. It wasn't like Super Mario 64 that aged well. Ocarina of Time aged well, because they even got a remake of it, and people are still asking for a damn remake of it.
Oh yeah.
Majora's Mask got a remaster, which was both of them was put on the 3DS. A bunch of games got that, and it's like I don't see A Link to the Past being the greatest Zelda game. I think it's either Ocarina, it's either between these three for me: Ocarina, Wind Waker, or Twilight Princess.
I would have to say Ocarina or Majora.
Yeah,
those are my two.
Yeah, Majora was good. I thought Majora was good. As I said, I didn't really get it that much over Ocarina, but otherwise, like the gameplay and everything, being able to transform into the fierce deity was pretty dope.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, a lot of people say that the fierce deity is that missing part to the Triforce. You see
that would be interesting.
Yeah, you see in the middle, there's a triangle missing, and if you see if you see in the fierce deity's hand and in his clothing, it's an upside down triangle.
Yeah.
So we're thinking that. But to go back to NES versus Sega Genesis, yeah, for like things like Sonic was a pretty good series. I like Sonic 1, 2, and 3. Sonic and Knuckles was pretty good. Sonic 3D Blast was pretty good.
I never had a problem with Sonic. I think Sonic was definitely one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah, the original 3, yes. There have been extremely bad Sonic games though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the adventure games were pretty good. 06 was horrendous. It was bad. Sonic in the Seven Rings, terrible. Sonic Heroes was good. Remember Sonic Heroes?
Yeah.
That was my thing back then.
Dude, I love Tails, man. Tails is like when I needed it the most, Tails.
Yeah, Tails was OG. My favorite character out of that series, I would say it has to be Knuckles.
All right, Knuckles.
Yeah, I like an echidna, like like with like it looks like he has dreads and then he's like fighting.
Yeah. Ugandan Knuckles? No, I'm joking.
Oh no, we never talk about that guy. Do you know the
Ugandan
way?
Knuckles?
Do you know the way?
Ugandan Knuckles can knuckle ass.
Nah.
Show me the way.
Show me the way. Do you know the way?
Uh,
There was that. There were also games that even look better on Genesis than SNES, like a Doom.
yeah.
Doom looked better on on Sega Genesis than SNES.
Of course.
Yeah, some of the
I
games.
mean, the Genesis had a faster processor, if I remember correctly.
It did.
They literally marketed it as faster. It actually, what was it? It was blasting. Fuck. What was their ad campaign? Blasting something. It was like blasting fast. Blast. Now I'm gonna have to. Because it was blasting.
It was something blasting.
To find it. Oh, blast processing. Think fast. That's what it.
Yeah.
Their two marketing ad campaigns. Sega Genesis, where they were utilizing speed, Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was just think fast, and that's what fell into the blast process.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people knew what that blast processor was. I think it's just like, I guess
it was fancy names.
Yeah, it was like blast processor. What does that mean? I don't know.
I don't know, little Susie, but play your fucking game.
Yeah. Play Earthworm Jim.
Still don't know what that is. Look it up later.
Yeah, you gotta take a look at it. It's actually pretty good. I'd recommend
The only
it.
worm game I know is either the worm blow each other up.
On the Worms series, the Worms Armageddon series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my game. That was my game. I loved that game. Like Worms Armageddon. Like, yeah, they were just like, they would always make some type of sarcastic comments, and I liked it. Yeah, so.
Freaking, dude, I know this is completely off topic, but now we're like talking about old school games. There was one on the original X, right? And it kind of reminded me of like Happy Friend, but there was a rabbit named Lucky, and he had a fake leg. Dude, they were like, it was all these weird animals, and they would beat the shit out of each other until they killed each other.
Was it,
Do you remember that? I'm gonna look it up. That's gonna blow my mind.
Was it something with, something of Conkers?
No.
Or Fur Fighters?
No.
Or Whiplash?
It's not naughty. It's kind of like Naughty Bear. It's not Psychonauts.
Alright, let me see. It wasn't Psychonauts. I played Psychonauts. It's actually pretty cool. Xbox Animal games. Was it like just shooting game?
Hold up. Nah, it wasn't. Oh, dude, it's called Whacked. It's a 2002 original. Dude, pull that up. Like, in if later when you edit it, can we post a picture of this? Because I forgot this existed until just. I don't know if anyone else at home listening to this knows what whacked is. But dude, it was the greatest single point in my history of being a child. Because that was 2 years after my mom and my stepdad got married. And I know for a fact my stepdad had this. And I used to sneak off, play this shit. And I would get in so much trouble. But like, oh, dude.
This whacked with a game show gone wrong.
Yeah, dude, it was a fucked up, dude. It was a fucked up game, man. It was kind of like Celebrity Deathmatch on a Xbox.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I remember that.
you had a stapler, a nail gun, like chainsaws, hammers, missiles, pitchforks. Bro.
Man, I remember that game. There was another game that was actually pretty classic. That was actually for Sega Dreamcast. So I'm speaking about Sega, and we're going off topic, like majorly, but
Yeah, I know.
but
I think we've covered all the SNES.
yeah. So yeah, it's true. I think the like a lot of the SNES and the Sega Genesis stuff went down. I think I know what our next topic is gonna be. It's gonna be nostalgia. All right.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for watching this podcast. We're gonna continue on from another time. Definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn on your notifications where we get new streams and new videos set out. Definitely join us on Facebook, our Discord channel, and make sure to subscribe to moderators in the description. You said something?
Oh, I said yeah.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to make sure. All right. But make sure to follow Randall20XX on his Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook. Make sure to follow Travis Brown if you like EDM music on his Instagram and Twitter. Also, make sure to follow Psycho World on his Twitch, his Instagram, and take a look at his t-shirts at teespring.com/psychoworld. Make sure to go ahead and follow Rose at his Instagram and on his YouTube channel, where you could go ahead and listen to amazing music. Listen to his brand new song called Forbidden Love. And this video is sponsored by Pulse Labs. If you're looking for anything of gaming chairs, gaming equipment, anything of I would say, gaming tables, then by all means go into the description and make sure to take a look at that. There will be pulselabs.com/EHG community. And also there will be a link to Hellboy's Omelet Gaming, his profile. Make sure to leave a follow for his profile if you're looking for amazing dubs being made in in PUBG and Call of Duty Mobile. But this is your boy CrazyMax98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the EHG community, and stay tuned for another episode of the EHG podcast.